Welcome to the Steve Show. Today I have Trevor Crane on the show. We're going to talk about how you can have your book, how you can have a book in your life and be able to increase your business, start having more of the life you want. And we're also going to talk about 9 books his daughter has, who's only 9 years old. So amazing stuff. All right, Trevor, it's good to have you back on the show. Last time you were with Robin, we had our show together, which was, it's always awesome. I mean, every time I'm with you, I think on stage you were just, it's like we're at the NSA conference, and so you might hear airplanes going over because we're right next to San Francisco International Airport. And luckily, you're in town from the East Coast, and every time we're together, we have to have cameras because we like to say lots of cool stuff.
That's right. Well,
welcome back.
And so when I was on the Steve Show last, also we shot the introduction for our course that we did together, and we have a new book coming out together,
right.
1 hour a day to 6 figures, and that comes out. I'm not sure by the time they watch this might be available.
Well, actually, I should even make sure that this show comes out like right when we're doing it.
Yes.
So we'll actually be smart about it. We'll make a calendar on this thing, and this show will come out like right before.
Right during the launch.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and we're planning it while we're recording this. So there you go. Well done.
Okay, well good. I'm glad we just figured that out.
So yeah, that'll happen.
Well, thanks for having me, and your show's been awesome to watch how it's been evolving, so you're doing a great job. And for those of you who don't know, the reason I'm here is I wanted to see this guy speak, and he was just speaking in front of the whole National Speakers Association, the NSA, and he brought down the house, like standing ovation. Steve was associated to his stories to move people. Dude, you're brilliant. It was really a good job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from here. I mean, that I truly want to help people, and I'm okay. And you know, the one thing, I'm okay letting people see me, because I believe that if I don't let people see me, then I can't see you. Because a wall is two-way. If I put a wall up and say, oh, don't look at that part of me, Trevor, then truly I can't actually see you. And so for me to truly connect with people, to connect with you right now, I have to be vulnerable. I have to allow you to see me for who I am. So I find the more transparency. You know, one of my teachers recently was saying, you know, the more privacy you have, the less connection you have. The more connection you have, the less privacy you have. So you're making a choice. When you're feeling really private and you want to like hold things, I'm actually stopping connection. So I really live, and you know me, I'm all about connection.
Yeah.
So just hearing that, because I kind of knew it already, but that just like dropped the whole ball. It's like, okay, what do I really need to be private about? Because I want to be connected. I want life, and I want to help you. I want to help others, and so that allows me to be there.
Well, and I'm just going to share, because I'm going to brag on you for a second, because we've known each other for probably close to 7 years now. I think because my wife introduced us when we just started dating.
Okay, so that's the timer.
Yeah, I can kind of keep track on that. And what I've seen is I've seen you open more and more. And like just a few years ago, and I think this is really cool because we all go through different transformations, and I've had a lot of challenges in those 7 years. I filed a big old bankruptcy and a variety of challenges. But I just want to acknowledge you, because I've seen in the last couple of years how you have decided to open more of that. Because we used to not talk about your wife. We used to not talk about. I didn't even know. Do you have?
Steve, do you have a family? I think it's really.
I've heard of these figment, but it was like I didn't know. But it's just so awesome that and it's powerful because I've seen how it's shown up in your brand and had the impact that you're having. And it's not like you weren't helping people back then. 5-7 years ago. I just love the fact that since you've embraced more of it, I've seen you show up and help so many more people. And I think I do too, to a certain degree.
No, and actually, I see the same. You've evolved so far. Like, it's amazing watching us all grow. Like, actually, Trevor and I were doing some business together, and then we had like a lapse where, you know, it was mostly me. I was like, I got to go figure some stuff out. But in that time, Trevor went from being not an author to like the next time we really connected, he's like 7-time, he had 7 books between his daughter, his wife, and himself, 7 books. And right at that time, I was calling because I was like, okay, I really need to get my book done because I had been talking about it for so many years. And I hired Trevor. I said, look, I just need to hire you, and I really need to sign a check, even though we're friends. And I know Trevor gave me so much love, and he probably would have done a bunch of stuff for me. But I was like, I actually need to give you this money because I don't like to lose money, so I'm gonna be like all over this. So I paid him. He coached me, and in 6 months I hit #1 bestseller in 4 countries. And I guess the reason I want to bring this up is because kind of what the topic I want to talk about is how being an author can make an impact on business. How I know how it is for me, but just talking about all the experience and now how you've helped so many clients and you're helping more and more, how that actually makes business more efficient because you can grow more strategically, right? Yeah. And you can earn more in less time, thereby giving you more of the lifestyle, which is that's what the Steve Show is like really about. How do we do business, grow business, but have our ideal life? So maybe share like what you've seen maybe with your clients or whatever comes up, even with you. Like this has made a huge impact in your life. I mean, it's awesome.
So I didn't start off an author by any stretch, and I arrived at finally figuring it out because of a similar pain of not getting it done. So for over 20 years, I wanted to write a book, and it had gone on my New Year's resolution list of let me do this. And I was so disgusted with myself for not getting it done. And I knew, like, if you see how people are interviewed, if Larry King is going to interview someone, unless they founded Uber or Nike, he's going to start with #1 best-selling author, Steve Napolitano of boom, boom, boom. And I knew position-wise, author of, creator of, founder of, known as, these are branding terms that shift positioning, and it shifts the world's perception of you. And I was so pissed off that I hadn't figured it out. And it seems simple. It's like words on a page. I've done that. Like I can write,
right.
and I can speak, and I think I understood parts, but not all. Like you were trying for years to get your book done. There were missing components that I had, and every time I got confused or scared or not sure what to do, I didn't want to publish the wrong book, and then I wasn't sure how I'd leverage it in my business or my brand. And I finally had enough. And one of my mentors actually developed cancer. And when he was going through chemo, he was like, what am I leaving behind? And he was upset about the difference, what he would leave as far as a legacy for his children, for his son actually, and his impact in the world. And so the way he describes it is in the hour of energy that he had each day when he wasn't vomiting in a bucket or his hair was falling out, he pulled out his phone and he recorded a story. He recorded his book into the phone. And it still took me a year past that to write my first book. I actually had to see what Mike did with it, and he turned that into a 7-figure business. He's had a full recovery, by the way,
That's
which
beautiful.
has been awesome. I think he's done over a dozen books. I think he's helped close to 1,000 people now with books. It's a
see how that transition of life, and then like, okay, I'm gonna now look at what he's done.
Yes, and so it was inspiring to me, and it wasn't. I had to get him to help me in my to figure it out, and So
you got a mentor.
I got a mentor, and I developed a team. And what I have found is the fastest way for me to create a result I don't have is to get help.
Right, like the apprenticeship. People used to be apprentice. They used to follow and look at people, and I think we don't do that enough. And I look at it, I did it too. I did 12 years of hard labor trying to build a business without like just figuring it out on my own. And so it's so important to find someone that's already done it and then just learn. And I won't do anything in my life without it. And even if it happens, there's wake up moments like our connection, because I had gotten so many coaches to do my business, and then I didn't have my book, and I was sitting there to do my book, and I'm like, what am I thinking? I finally hit me in the head. I'm like, get a book coach, duh. Like, you think sometimes I got a business coach or a speaking coach, and then there's certain things you pick up and you don't have that. Like I'm getting guitar lessons this year. Other things I want in my life, I'm getting other people that are really good at it, and I'm going to accelerate my learning.
I mean, you're not just going to do that?
Pick it up, I mean, and you can go on YouTube and watch videos. I mean, you can get mentors by reading books. That's why we write them. Here's one of Trevor's books.
Wow, that's a good-looking book.
You can start your mentorship by reading someone's book. But then I would encourage you to get them to be with you so that you can, you could read Trevor's book and then say, oh my gosh, this is powerful. What if you were working with that individual for like a period of time, 6 months, a year? How much would you change your life?
Well, and so you asked a question about how to leverage those books into something that would matter. And so I started with the problems that I had as far as why I didn't get it done. And so I had to figure out for me, I don't really like to do stuff for me that often. Like I do. I love to do stuff for me to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But when I learn something, I want to learn how to share it with someone else. When I grew up in Arizona, and did you know I grew up in Arizona?
I did.
Okay, so
we actually spent time in Arizona together, and we drove past places that you used to play when you were a kid. Remember that time?
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So when I was in Arizona, I saw a coffee table book of Jacques Cousteau, and I thought, oh my gosh, I want to I want to breathe underwater. So I went and took scuba school and learned to become a scuba diver. And the first time I went scuba diving was in Australia. And I did this amazing trip, and I thought, I want to learn to become an instructor. 6 months later, I did whatever it took to become a scuba instructor because I wanted to share the experience with other people. So when I decided finally to figure out books, I actually told my wife, and I said, honey, I figured it out. I've got the team. I know who's going to show me how to do it. And honey, I'm not just going to have a book. It's going to be a best-selling book. It's going to be an international bestseller, and you're going to have one, and our daughter's going to have one because we can get kids to do it too. And all of our clients, we got in a fight. What? Yeah, it was a Saturday, and she's like, "This is not work time. We're supposed to be doing family time." And she's like, "Don't put that on me," because she's wanted to write a book for a long time, you know. Robin and we got into a fight, and I was so mad because I'm like, "But I'm so excited," and she's like, "Yeah, another one of your great ideas." So. The way I figured it out was through mentorship, and then I built a publishing team to help me bridge all the gaps. And I knew that a book could be your most powerful marketing tool. And it's understanding how to use it and leverage it. And what I will acknowledge about you, Steve, is when we did get going and you invested, and I think that's key. It's not just investing your time, but your money.
Right.
Because it's a different, like you said, we're buddies, and we tend to like the people that we work with.
But I said, no, I want to hire you.
And then it made you more accountable, and then you did the things. And so what Steve didn't say is he said within 6 months he had a bestseller. What he didn't share with you is that we walked through a process that more clearly identified what should go in the book in the first place. And then he tested that in marketing, so he made more money.
During the process.
During the process, before he'd even started writing. In fact, he's like, and he said, you said the most important thing to you during the process was to not take away from your lifestyle, that you were busy with family and with
well, yeah, because I had already started to establish the life that I wanted, and so business was good and a family was good, and I was like writing a book. Oh my gosh, how am I going to add that in? It felt like another full-time job.
And you almost didn't work with me because
I was freaked out about it.
And people don't get their book done because they think it's going to take too much time.
And that's where I want to give 100% credit to Trevor. He broke it down step by step in such a way that I actually halfway through, because I told him all this stuff, and he said, okay, if you just do this each week, I'll tell you what to do, and step by step. And he did. And about halfway through the process, I called Trevor, and I'm like, dude, we're not going to get this done, man. And now I have, like, when you go on Amazon and you say you're going to launch your book, you have a deadline. And if you don't do that, then you're blacklisted on Amazon forever maybe not forever. But you're basically, if you got to hit the date, or Amazon's going to be mad because they told everyone that your book was going to come out on a certain date. So I'm like, dude, we're not going to get this done. And he said, Steve, did you do this and this like we talked about this week? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, then go hang up don't stop talking to me and go play with your family. And I did. I trusted Trevor, and we did. We finished the book on time, and then the first day in one day of launch, we hit #1 on Amazon in 4 countries and 14 categories. And I know, like, I sit back there because I was one of your earlier clients in that area. Now I look at the new books you have out, and I'm like, wow, he's doing even more. Like 22, like Jess's book, 22 categories.
Right,
and like,
right.
Everyone's just getting more, and that's why it's cool. We're doing a new book so we can hit more categories.
Right.
Together.
Well,
Woo!
and so your second book now will be coming out, and it's already done.
We're already a #1 best-selling.
Right.
So I'm a 2-time best-selling author. And how many authors do you know?
I mean, it's hard to count. 10.
10 best-selling books, and his daughter has 9.
I had to do, well, my daughter's 9 years old, so if she's going to have 9 best-selling books, then I had to be one up, at least for a little while.
Well, so I want to do 2 things, and for sure, and then whatever time we have left over. So #1, how do you see the impact in your clients and in your own life that's allowing you to do business maybe faster, smarter, with books, that's giving you the life? And then the second thing, just to tee up what we're going to do, then I want to talk about kids. I want to talk about, obviously, I'm a family man, you are too, and how you're doing, super kids books. Is that what it is? Yeah, super kids books. And so I want to talk about that because that's remarkable. I mean, like what you're doing with your daughter. So let's talk about how we use books to leverage business to make more in shorter periods of time so you can have the life you want.
So the first thing that I do when I'm working with someone with their book, like I did with you, is we get strategic about what's going to go into the book and why, who the book is for. So by the way, I'll give everybody 4 little tidbits here.
Okay, go for it.
The 4 questions to get clarity around your book. And
So
why,
take notes right now. This is important.
why this is important is it's the best marketing and branding exercise that I've seen. Because when you ask and answer these questions, it helps you understand better who you talk. So the questions are: who is the book for? Your ideal person that you want to read it. What is it about? So you can describe that in like a short period of time, in a condensed way, so people understand why it's so important. Why do they care? Like, what are the problems? That is 2 parts. That is, what are the problems that this book addresses or this person has, and then what are the results that it's going to give them, and then what do you want them to do next? And so with that clarity, and I worked with you, it took a month or 2 working with you because we test that marketing. When we come up with that idea, the answers to those 4 questions, the strategy is to start sharing the results of that. We'll come up with this great idea. This is who I want to work with. This is what I think it's about. This is why I think they care. All really good language that we come up with. And then what Steve did is he went out and he shared that with his audience, asking them, is this what you want? And then using their language so it changes the message possibly when you're writing a book to promote your business and your brand and to build a legacy. And so what that does is you're now more clearly articulating to the world who you help, what problems they have, how you can serve them. And then if you know what you want them to do next, let's say you're a speaker, you know that you want to get more speaking gigs. Let's say you're a consultant, let's say you sell cars. Let's say you're a roofer and you wish you had more roofs. It doesn't matter the business. You now get to say, and hey, who do you know that might want some of that?
Right.
I'm a dentist. Who do you know that might want some more dentist stuff and awesomeness? And your book, dentist stuff.
Dentist stuff.
That's how dentists
That's
talk.
what we do. I have dentist stuff. Would you like me to do some dentist stuff to your mouth?
But what the book does is it now communicates who, what, why, what they do next, and we don't have to wait for the book to get done to leverage it into your monetization and that final product.
Well, yeah, you're already growing your business around the book even before it comes out. You know, because I went #1 before the book even came out. The day that my book went #1 was during the pre-launch.
Yeah.
And so then we had like another 3 months of marketing, and then the book came out. And that's one thing I love what you say about, and maybe I'm giving some of the stuff away, but doing a pre-launch, doing your Kindle launch, doing your paperback launch, do your audiobook launch. Every launch is another marketing exposure for your business. And then even the pre-stuff, like, hey, this is my title, this is my tagline, like all those things. So that's what Trevor thought of and opened my eye to, and it totally makes sense. When he told me, I'm like, okay, duh, we get more promotion dates. So it's super
modeling
brilliant.
billion-dollar. I know I'm talking over you.
No, it's okay.
It models billion-dollar businesses. It models Apple. It models Tesla. It models what billion-dollar companies do. They build buzz and attention for something before it's available.
Right.
And it is the Cabbage Patch doll. You know, it's marketing. And so if you leverage that, your book communicates your credibility and authority instantaneously by having a book. You also share your vulnerability stories so people are more likely to trust you. And then if you understand what you're using next in the process, you can invite them into your business or whatever, your cause, your mission, before the book is done. And if you understand how to better communicate that, that's why it turns into your most powerful marketing tool.
And then I want to talk about kids and what you've done so beautifully with your daughter. But before, I just want to cap this off where when you have this and you have that clarity of who you're going, what you're doing, who you're working with, and you have the leverage of the expertise, and now you're gaining all this buzz and exposure that Trevor's explaining with your books, now you can start charging more. I literally had a past client call me and send me a check for like $5,000 and said, hold space for me. I can't even work with you for 2 months, but I know you're going to be so busy. And they just sent me money. So, I mean, like.
Before my coaching was don't write your book right now. Do the marketing, do the testing,
First,
do the stuff.
and then you know what to write about.
And he's like, but Trevor, we have these deadlines. And when am I going to get these things done? And I'm like, don't do that yet. Stop the madness and start doing this. And then it leveraged you into the result you wanted.
Absolutely. And so that allows you, coming back to what we're talking about, the lifestyle, that's allowed me to raise my rates, increase my leads. Everything goes up. and I'm able to help more people, and then I'm able to fill my workshops and weekend events so I can help people at a lower cost. They get to be with me for 3 days, but then the quantity of people there increases the revenue for me, and then that allows me to have more time with my family because you're making money in less time. And so I think it's just an amazing thing. And before we run out of time, I want to talk about what you're doing with kids. I mean, because that it's amazing. So your daughter has 9 books now.
Yeah. So to be brief, because I know we don't have much time, I believe everyone should have a book. And I decided to inspire my daughter to do it. And she wrote her first book when she was 7 about the 3 ninja kitties. And these are her, it's a story about what she's passionate about cats. And what I believe is not only should everybody write a book, but about what you're passionate about and love and want,
Right.
but that there's a business behind it. So at the back of the book, there is a website for people to join her free book club, and they go to superkidsbooks.com, and they can get all these free books. And she teaches kids to become authors now.
That's
we
amazing.
have a course, and we've done books now in a variety of different ways. This one, she drew all the pictures herself in this book when she was 7, and she told and kids are the most creative people on the planet. And so then we did one we turned into a movie. And she said, "Daddy, I don't want to draw all the pictures. That was too hard. I want to be a ninja kitty."
Yeah, she had to draw. Once she started to draw 70 pictures or more.
And then now we're here at the NSA, and one of the women we met is named Maria, who asked for my daughter to now teach an agile publishing. Agile is like a way of doing.
It's iterative design. It's like get something out to market quickly. It could be market, it could be development, and then you work to make it better. You say, what can we do better? And you keep going.
Faster results.
Iterative. Yes. Because instead of talking about it for 2 days of meetings and then develop, you talk for like an hour and then you go try it. And then you come back and regroup for 5 minutes. And that's kind of what she's done. Each book has gotten better and better.
And what we did is we tried to systematize this for kids so that they could do it too. Because I've done it, like I said, when I learn something, I want to do it for me, my clients, and everyone I love. So my daughter has a mission to create 1,000 new kids book authors. And we've gotten faster and better at it. This book took a while. You know, the movie took a while. You know what it takes to put a movie together.
Yeah.
But this is a book that she did with, where she didn't want to do the drawings. We hired an artist to do the book, and this is this is the Magical Mermaid series. And now we have a process streamlined and simplistic, and it creates a beautiful product where she did this as a co-authored project with our next door neighbor, and we get to capture the magic of their creativity forever. And then now she's being asked to partner with Maria and teach a program in front of 1,000 people. We'll see if she wants to do it, because my daughter's got to still choose to do it.
Yeah.
But she's being invited to do these things, and she got interviewed on media, and that's the thing.
When we were in New York, she was interviewed in Times Square.
Yeah.
I was in New York last September, and Trevor met us. He's like, "Oh yeah, Phoenix has an interview in Times Square." So that's beautiful, man. It's remarkable. And I would just say a story that these books have been at my house, and my daughter's reading them, and my youngest daughter, Ilaria, she saw when Phoenix came, because Trevor, Robin, and Phoenix came over to our house and stayed a couple days. And then at the dinner table, Ilaria leaned over and she's like, "Dad, you know that book with the cat? You know that book with the cats?" I'm whispering, "With that book, that's the author over there." That's the author over there, and she's not a grown-up. She's not a grown-up, she said. So it was like this thing, and so we've been recording these stories that she's been saying now, and she wants to make a book. So through Super Kids Books, I'm sure that my kids are going to have books too, and it's just like, that's so awesome to have that inspiration, because I could tell my kids, "Oh, write a book," and I even said that because I knew Trevor and I knew what Trevor was doing, and I mentioned it around the house, but it wasn't until Phoenix came over that they're like, "Oh, now I really want to do it."
Well,
so it's
we
inspiring.
Take our kids to, we give our kids everything, right? We think our kids are the best in the world. We invest in sports and ballet lessons and trips to Disneyland to create these experiences. I saw where you took your son to see Stan Lee because he's into all the Spider-Man and superhero stuff. And we do all of this, but and
the girls went too, though. Ilaria,
right.
Julia,
And
everyone
your whole
got to
family.
meet. They all got to meet Stan Lee.
And so we know that it's right to teach our kids to read, and it'll feed their brain. In fact, it's been proven scientifically to help heal different attention deficit disorders and different challenges with autistic kids, but the mental creative process of creating their own story and the leadership skills and the project management skills and the self-confidence that it builds and the teamwork, because the way we teach this is through working together, is unbelievable. And so we're starting to do a little bit more about the benefits of raising a child with all of this. Imagine, I mean, to be a #1 best-selling author as a child and have that as an identity of who you are.
For the rest of your life. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life, brother. I mean, just the things that you're doing, the impact that you're going to have that you already are having on the world, and that you're going to continue to, empowering people to be able to be who they are. Thank you for being you, brother. It's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Same thing, man.
it's awesome. And it's awesome to have you on the show again. I think you're the first guest that's ever come twice. So far. Yeah, woo. All right, so I have a lot of love for this guy, and if any of you are thinking remotely at all that you have a book, everyone has a book inside them, but if you're thinking you want it, then
Can I give a gift away?
Absolutely, do it.
Okay, so
here you go, free stuff.
So I know we've got our book coming out, so you should go check that out. I'm sure we'll have promotion for that, and we'll give a great deal when this comes out. But I'll give you one of my books. So go to trevorcrane.com/free book. And I'll give it to you. I'll pay you. You pay for the shipping, and I'll ship you the book. And if you want to get one of my daughter's books, we've got the same thing. You can get my daughter's book. It'll be our gift for you. Go to superkidsbooks.com/free book. superkidsbooks.com/free book, and we'll send you this book for free. And you can. That's
It's brilliant. Thank you for giving that gift. And both of us are pretty active on social media. In fact, Trevor has us on Facebook Live. We love all you. And, so give us feedback. Let us know, hey, what was your biggest value moment today on today's episode? What do you want to hear more of? What are the questions that you still have that we weren't able to answer right now? Because we'll probably definitely be shooting another episode. And, something happened. So Facebook just went off or something. So we will respond. So please do let us know. Until the next episode, choose gratitude, create freedom.